The last 5 weeks, turnovers in the green zone.
Okay, that can be something surely that the Munsterman will be working on. Now, Tyrone has used his well-known gas to move here from the studio down to the other side of the pitch, and he is down where the Ulstermen have been warming up. I think they've disappeared under the stand, but Tyrone, collectively, clearly, they're looking good. But individually, who is it from the Ulster side that's catching your eye at the moment?
Well, I think a name that is on the lips of many, many observers is Stuart McCluskey. Talking to the strength and conditioning coach Johnny Davis before the match, they do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu during the summer. He's as strong as an ox, and they've got to match him up with second rows, such as his grappling and holding power. But that's just part of the story, because as a centre, his stats are very, very strong. He's a double-digit ball carrier. He gets across the gain line. He wins metres going forward, and he beats defenders. And that is absolutely vital to an Ulster side which is highly ambitious in the rugby that they want to play. He sets great targets for his forwards and for his supporting players. He beats people. He's in a unit. He's hard to put to ground. And he's also savvy. There's much more to him. He gets a back against a forward. He takes them on, and he's got the wherewithal where he is in the pitch to get behind the post. I mean, he's a super player. Strong, fast, very explosive, but he's got very good balance, very good footwork, and his stats are only a bit of the story because it's what he creates for the rest. His offloads, he puts players into space, and that is the reason that he has to be high up on the radar of Joe Schmidt.
All right, thank you very much, Tyrone. As you say, coming into form at just the right time. So it's been a greasy sort of a day in the lead-up. It has cleared overhead for now, a little bit wet underneath, but one suspects there will be some pressure on the man wearing the number 15 jersey for Ulster today. We have mic'd up Louis Ludik. Hopefully, we'll get the chance to hear what he has to say to his fellow outside backs and perhaps some of the pressure he's under. We had a great insight last week in the Pro 12.
One-on-ones, back. Hands! Hands! He's got a kick! He's got a kick! Wait, hold your whip! Raise! Good! Hold it, eh? Who's got 9? Look on! I got shot! Tower, please. Thanks, Buck. More! More! More!
Yeah, fantastic insight from player Mike. Louis Ludik to be wearing it for Ulster this afternoon. We are nearly halfway through this season's Guinness Pro 12. It is round 11, and it brings us to a fast-filling Kingspan Stadium in Belfast. Ian Evans and Miles Harrison will take us through this one.
Two of the top 4 last season, and two teams that want so badly to be part of the semi-final lineup again in 2016. In fact, it's almost an expectation for them to be in that position, but they know, despite the pressure, there is no given right, especially this season when the race is seemingly as wide open as it ever has been. Special day for Ulster's winger Andrew Trimble, becomes the first player to appear for Ulster in 200 games. Here's the pack, and captain Rory Best. Kyle McCall is fit again, and he joins the front row. Lewis Stevenson is into the second row, and Chris Henry, another returning to full fitness, is part of the Ulster back row. The backs are unchanged from the win at Connacht, minus a few star names at the moment, but working very well as a unit, and including that man Trimble, who will undoubtedly get a rousing reception from his home crowd. A wonderful servant and a terrific milestone. Munster make 2 late changes from the team that was announced yesterday. In the pack, Billy Holland is in for Dave Foley, who's not recovered from a dead leg. Dave Kilcoyne continues, having come on for the injured James Cronin against Leinster. BJ Bota, the former Ulsterman, is over the flu and is the other prop. Wallaby Mark Chisholm in the second row. Tommy O'Donnell, first start after that injury in the back row. In the backs, the other late change, out goes Andrew Conway, not recovered from a hip problem. Gerhard van den Heever is in on the wing. Lucas Gonzalez Amorosino moves to full back. Ian Keatley back at fly half. Tomas O'Leary continues at 9, with Conor Murray still on the injured list. Ulster's captain last week, Rob Herring, deputy again for Rory Best as hooker and as leader then. And Munster bringing in Shane Buckley, who steps onto the bench with Holland's late promotion. And it's been a tough spell for Munster, no doubt about that. The 2 defeats to Leicester in the Champions Cup have hit them badly, and the loss to Leinster, obviously another massive blow. But there is a chance to turn things around. Wins in Belfast today, Paris next week. It would be the perfect swing, and plotting to make this happen part of the Munster coaching team, Gerry Flannery, is ready to talk to Tyrone.
Gerry, after the disappointment of the last few weeks, how difficult has it been to raise the spirits of your players?
Yeah, I suppose it's undoubtedly difficult, and the results that we've had over the last 5 games have put us in a tricky position, but we've no other choice to try and work our way out of this. Some of the injuries have tested our depth, but you know, we just got to show a lot of character today, and particularly with the ball, we've got to show a lot more accuracy when we're in possession. Do the conditions favour your game plan today? Well, I think that what we'll be looking to do is use our maul and our scrum a lot today, and you know, they're fundamentals, particularly when the ball is going to be slippy like that. If you look at, you know, how dangerous Ulster are off their 1-2-3 phase strike plays, possibly it does favour us having the weather like this, but you know, we just have to see how it goes now at this stage. Thanks very much, Gerry. Good luck. Thanks.
Well, Ulster have already brought about the swing in their season. When Munster were losing to Leicester, the Ulstermen were beating Toulouse and keeping their Champions Cup hopes definitely alive, more than that. And then that hard-fought, if far from pretty win in Galway over Christmas. Can they keep it going with another inter-pro win here? And the man to lead them out, playing his 200th game for Ulster, is Andrew Trimble. Let's just listen to this roar. And no doubt enjoying that roar as well is the Ulster boss, Les Kiss. He's with Tyrone.
Les, it was a superb December. What do you have to do well today to make sure that January gets off to the best possible start?
Well, we have to beat Munster to start with, but that'll be a massive task in itself. I think if we keep our basics up to the level that it has been in the last 4 weeks or so, keep a strong mindset about where we want to play the game, and keep backing ourselves.
And does these conditions, does that limit your ambition, or is it back to basics?
Well, I think it tempers it. I don't think it should limit you. I don't think it should push you back into a box. We just want to challenge ourselves to be better each week, and the conditions is one of the challenges that you have to handle along the way.
Thanks, Les. Good luck.
I expect a physical response to Munster today. Desperation can inspire to great feats of resilience and courage, but Ian Keatley cannot afford that desperation to cloud your judgment, to frazzle your mindset. It's about clarity, composure and control. And for Ulster, Franco van der Merwe has talked about how difficult to get a long shadow of Johan Muller. He needs to show a robustness, the physical challenges. No doubt Munster will throw the Ulster Pack's way.
Gary Conway of the Irish Rugby Union gets charge of one of the matches of the season in Ireland, one of the matches of this Guinness Pro 12 season in general. A day when an atmosphere is always guaranteed, plenty of noise. And creating his own noise, our man on the player mic is Louis Ludig. Ulster win it, and they're really flying, aren't they? Munster win it, and they announce to the rest just how foolish it will be to write them off. It's an Irish derby with major significance, and it feels like a great place to start the year. It really does.
There's no finer place to watch a game, top-end game of rugby than Kingspan Stadium, a raucous crowd here.
Early chance for Munster in their famous red. Retrieved by Kilcoyne, but it had gone forward, and we're back to this side of the field. So important, you sense, the start for Munster today.
Yeah, expect them to be really physical. They know the type of game that suits them. They also got to show composure as well. Talked about, see, much documented their inability to take points when they're on offer, when they get in attacking areas such as this. Having the sort of composure, having the accuracy in the game to take on the better defences. We know how effective Ulster's defence, since Les Kiss has come back here as DOR, how much that's stepped up as of late.
Coach! Bind! Set!
Kilcoyne, the loose head on this near side as O'Leary puts in. Alongside Mike Sherry and BJ Boter, the former Ulster man.
No, 9.
And that is going nowhere.
Use it, 9. Use it!
Instruction comes from the referee.
Take a release!
That was Gerhard van den Heever coming off the wing as well. Billy Holland. And then Sherry.
Ball's out, play. Ball's available.
Again, it's a mad scramble on the floor. We'll see a bit of that today. The pitch has taken the rain really well, but it is squidgy and soft. That can't be avoided, considering what has come out of the skies. Mark Chisholm with an early carry. And Munster playing it tight. Here's CJ Stander.
Tackle eight, please.
Their captain, now Irish qualified, of course. O'Leary caught in possession, but Keatley helps him out. There's a little bit of width this way, but it's all in the hands of Van den Heever. Rory Scannell, youngster, making his way in midfield. Given another chance today. O'Leary again finds BJ Boter in the unusual position for him, the fly half. South African Van den Heever from Bloemfontein, where it's a lot drier than this.
Turnover's gone, one red release.
Well, Munster went through 10 phases there and gained about 3 yards. Very slow ball, very one-paced. Comfortable for Ulster's defence to reorganise, reload, get back in position. But you know how important Stander is for Munster to get on the front foot, get those hard yards. But marked up here, man-to-man, 8 on 8. And that attack was really rebuffed by Nick Williams, threw Stander back over the gain line.
Exactly what Alan Quinlan was talking about and illustrating before the match. Joining his commentary now is Tyrone Howe.
Well, you see the conditions. It makes slow ball the predominant ball that you get in this game, so that the key challenge is going to be how to create quick out of slow ball. But again, Munster, last couple of games, they dominated possession and territory, but it's been actually what they've done with the ball in those positions that's been a big issue for them.
Saw the figures there for CJ Stander, they're impressive. They stack up with anybody in the league, really. He's had a strong season.
Thanks, Sean.
Omani had gone back, and now he's gone forward. And that is a fine catch from Paddy Jackson. Ruan Pienaar would have proud of that himself. Also looking to move it, Scholes involved, and there's Big McCluskey.
Advantage.
Dives on it, but ball clearly going forward.
I do enjoy where that midfield partnership is going. You know, you look at something like Paddy Jackson really has, from a callow youth, has really evolved and matured into a confident young outer half, and outside him with the likes of McCluskey, with Marshall, really forming a nice midfield partnership. But this is a man who really seemed at times to be a little bit frightened of his own shadow at times when he initially came on the scene very early in his career. Now he's matured into a forceful character outside half.
I think what we're talking about is maturity. When he was a cub, he gave off sort of cub features. He's grown up, he's older, he's wiser, he's more experienced, much more a deeper pool of experience to draw on, and arguably he's putting his hand up because Ireland needs people pushing Johnny Sexton, and he's certainly one of the names that's putting the pressure on.
Rain still falling out of those skies, but it's not as heavy as it was. Certainly the wind has died down from yesterday. Lucas Amorosino now finding himself at full back after his change with Andrew Conway, being able to shake off that bruised hip which he suffered last week. His training earlier in the week and just didn't work for him as the week went on. Francis Saili offloads to find Jack O'Donoghue, certainly one to watch, just 21 years of age, the youngest player on the field at the start of the game. And Sammy Arnold on the Ulster bench is younger, might see him later on. Van den Heever on to Tommy O'Donnell, great to see him back after that pretty horrible injury before the World Cup. They said this will be a tussle. It will be.
It's interesting talking to Les Kiss before the game and saying about to what extent do these conditions limit ambition. and he said about it tempers ambition. Well, you've just seen Munster on both occasions go use the full width of the pitch. So again, possibly going against what one might have expected early in this game and trying to stretch and spread this Ulster defensive line.
Sometimes it's counterintuitive because of the nature of the conditions. Defences will rush up really quickly, but then that also opens up opportunities to attack them, providing your skill set is up to the mark. And that's been the issue for Munster as of late. Their skill set when under pressure hasn't quite stood up to the task.
And while the sticky conditions may make it more difficult to attack, it also makes it more difficult to defend, because you get literally stuck in the mud and you can slip, you can slide. There's it's possible that something that might normally not happen or open up in a game might just open itself up.
A cut there for the Argentina full-back today, but versatile back. He can play right along the back three, certainly, and has played in the centre before. He was with Cardiff Blues, of course, briefly last season. There's Anthony Foley. Lots on his mind, lots for him to contemplate around this festive season, but he knows a win here today and the table will look very, very different.
Red.
Good challenge there. Donahue going in. That's good ball for Munster, given the attacking position it now sets up. Here's Saili from Scannell, goes wide to find Van den Heever. There's 2 knee injuries last season, one really before the start of the season, then another mid-season, which ended his involvement, but he's back, and Munster look as if they are back and intending to do some damage inside that Ulster half in the early minutes of this first period. Now they'll get a chance for points.
Yeah, good steal by Donahue. He's shown himself in the wider channels as a strong athlete, but very good in the liner as well. But look at this willingness to go wide, but not really committing any defenders. McCluskey there just wanders across the field with some comfort. No one's committed a defender. There aren't enough options off the ball carrier. You have to be an option. Otherwise, defence is just going to move back and forth across the field and no yardage being gained.
It's what happens next as well, and Keatley, with options outside him, takes the ball into contact. Now I know they've got the penalty from it, may get 3 points, but actually you're 10 taking the ball and running the risk of getting wrapped up. It's high risk stuff.
Good start from Keatley, but they do have points to show for their early territory, Munster. As the boys saying, perhaps they could be a bit more incisive in their attacking game, but they are getting in those positions and creating chances, or at least one chance thus far for Keatley.
Yeah, I think Anthony Foley will be pleased to get Munster off the mark and points on the board. In the last few games, they've opted to go for the corner rather than kick a goal because of the uncertainty regarding the success rate of the goal kickers. That time, Keatley getting an awful lot, but nailing any goal kicker wants to nail the first kick.
Brought back.
On a day like this, territory may matter an awful lot. Those kicks too. I mean, traditionally very tight games between these two sides. Ridiculously tight, actually. I mean, the recent run of matches between the two. The conditions also creating that kind of expectation, I think. Most people today that it's going to be close. And Keatley into touch, just to back up that point. Look at that, just a 7 points difference over the whole of those most recent 4 matches between the two.
Yeah, and you can't underestimate or understate the value of a derby game. I mean, there's still the bragging rights, and looking at the Six Nations just around the corner, it's like an unofficial Irish trial match as well. So there's lots of individual battles there, and the value of a victory over each other is huge for the players.
Rory Best to throw, rested for the Connacht match, and that's nice to find Dyack. Then it's Pienaar. McCluskey involved again. Saw him on that far side, wrestling player into touch. Saw that second row strength of his, even though he is a centre, but he's getting on for 16.5 stone. Omani. Ulster have a little think about the quick one.
You think about Ulster and the way they play, and they talked about their ambition to play wide. But you think about also their kicking game. There's a method to the kicking game. It's very accurate. It's a big part of their overall game plan. They're waiting for Munster to kick the ball back to them. There's generally 3 or even 4 players back deep waiting for the kick to come down the field, and then they launch a counter-attack. Really well organised kicking game.
Taken by Franco van der Merwe at the line-out, and already through the hands along this confident Ulster backline. Rory Scholes, and across comes Tomas O'Leary, and he's desperate to find the safety of touch, and that's got the crowd going. Wonderfully constructed stadium here now, the Kingspan. Always was atmospheric, but for a modern ground with the terracing around all 4 sides as well in front of the seats.
Well, they all expect McCluskey to take it into contact, and in fact he operates as a pivot, sucks that midfield defence in the space on the outside. A little nutmeg there, tough to turn and chase that ball down.
You're talking about an attacking game. It's some part ambition, the major part is accuracy, and that was a really accurate movement. Plenty of options, plenty of depth, accuracy of pass.
And if this game is not going to be close, I think most people would agree it's the home side that would make it that way. If they get on a roll, that's what Munster have got to stop. And quite literally here, the rolling maul. Pienaar is making out that he wants it, but it's still on the move. Rory Best still has control of the ball.
Use it!
Now Pienaar feeds to find Chris Henry. Just a couple of games with that slight shoulder problem, nothing major. Big day for him. Jerome was saying, mini Irish trial really. He's against O'Donnell, and it's O'Donnell and Munster who win that particular battle.
O'Donoghue again involved.
Stay away. 9. 9, just stay there. Hey, what are you doing here?
Pienaar wasn't happy.
2 captains, please. Time off. 2 captains. 8. No, 8. There's no place in the game for that. You were awarded a penalty, and I awarded the jackler. Fair. Okay, don't ask 9 to come up and sort it out himself. I'll deal with it, I'll have the whistle. All right, so you talk to your team and you talk to your team, no more. Because next 2 we go to the bin. All right, thank you.
Gary Conway making his point. If you heard any bad language, apologies for that.
March there.
So a little dig on Pienaar as he was about to get up.
I think Munster will want to unsettle Ulster, and particularly the half-back, particularly Ruan Pienaar. You give Ruan Pienaar a smooth ride all afternoon, he will tear you to shreds. His kicking game, his composure at 9, so important. They will really go to the way to unsettle.
We're just looking at the
Referee wants to see that again now on the big screen.
As it almost looks as if there's just been a little nudge in the back with the knee, but I mean, Pienaar's the most unflappable person on this pitch. So for him to get incensed, there's something there. I don't think it's too much, mind you.
See the red player come in there.
Just wonder as he's getting up.
Number 2, yeah.
Yeah. He just gives him a little nudge with the knee.
Yeah, look, I spoke to the 2 captains about any afters. I'm happy with that, all right?
Okay, no problem. Just want you to have a look. All right, cheers. Thanks.
Penalty here, guys. Side entry.
It's Mike Cherry just was walking into it.
2, come here.
There's nothing in that.
Yeah.
The unflappable is flappable, obviously.
Yeah, there's nothing in that.
It's time of year when somebody knocks on the door, you offer them a sherry, but
2.
no, that was okay.
You make a decision there, all right? No, just keep them safe.
Here he is, straight back into what he does for a living. Mike Sherry, nicely done as well. Taken by Trimble, and then Ludic lost in the tackle. Now this could be interesting. Quick turnover ball. Kicks on a great one though, and Luke Marshall has time. Combination of Marshall and McCluskey, it really is a big combo, isn't it? 12 and 13. There's little Paddy Jackson. Rory Scholes benefiting from all these injuries at the moment, like so Craig Gilroy, Tommy Bowe. Also the back line, Darren Cave, Gerard Payne, Stuart Holding.
Choose where to fall, left
It's not hindering Ulster too much.
Too slow.
And Pienaar wastes no time there.
Keeping the pace in the game, keeping the pressure on Munster, and that was a wasted opportunity. They got the turnover ball, and that kick was badly executed. There was a huge amount of space deep in Ulster's 22, and the result of that mistake has put Munster on the back foot again.
Well, I think it shows that lack of confidence. It's a side that's lost 5 in a bounce. Turnover ball like that, you move the ball away quickly, one pass away, looked to counter-attack. That time, looked up, saw the one, and decided to kick the ball away.
The set piece has gone well this season. And here's Pienaar trying to add to the tally of success as a result, but not this time. Munster spoiling well near their own line.
Yeah, we've lauded Ulster's accuracy in the start of this game. That was sloppy. Really terrific position for Ulster. Talked about how difficult they are to defend against from the set piece that close in.
And that's a real positive for Munster. And as we go towards the end of the first quarter, a target for them would have been to build their confidence. They've nicked the line out. They've managed to sack a driven maul. They've forced Ulster into making mistakes. They've created a turnover. You know, these are little crumbs of comfort that they're trying to build on as the game unfolds.
That's off the top though, nice and quick. And here's McCluskey as a result, getting way over the game line. Pienaar.
Cut it out.
Dyak's been in excellent form. Nick Williams that time was used as a decoy. Jackson kicking possession away though.
Injury there. 2, come here. 2, come here. What number have we got here? Number 3. Number 3.
CJ Stander, who's down.
Yeah, tell me, you come here. Just wait there. 3. Just come here. Yeah, just come here. No, I'm going to deal with you first. Come here. Come here. Yeah, just come here.
As man of the match in the thrilling 23-all draw between these two towards the tail of last season.
That's it. That's it for you as well. Over here,
this would be hugely worrying from Munster. The captain, the focal point of their attacking game, and a big physical presence, and having lost the likes, you know, they've lost Conor Murray, lost Peter Amani. They don't want to lose another inspirational player.
But Quinny mentioned leaders and the need for leaders in this Munster side, and undoubtedly he's been one of the guys who's been standing up in the last couple of weeks, and he'd be the last player that they would want to lose in this pitch.
What is this one?
Oh, clearly accidental. But Stander's made of really tough stuff. It's being led away. Robin Copeland is on. And Stander gets that attended to. Nick Williams, that's not worked again. And here's a chance for Scannell. Has he got the pace to go all the way? The answer is no, because Trimble is there, but Trimble's cleared out. In goes Van den Heever. We talked about Munster spoiling and scrambling. Well, Ulster did exactly the same there. They got back in numbers and very quickly. Henry involved too. Trimble doing the initial hunting down. Amorosino. Keatley takes. Got time to get back to his feet and compose himself. Ronan O'Mahony. Well, Munster thought there was a chance to move it quickly and get themselves going. The crowd were pumped by their side's defence, and they're even more so now, greeting the award of the penalty.
What stunning defensive work from Trimble, who talked about his finishing ability of late and the confidence he's showing. He's posted some great tries against Toulouse in the European games. That great defensive work to get across. And it seemed as though Scannell was going to score a try. An outstanding defensive work by him, and also the work then of Tommy O'Donnell to get to the breakdown was equally good. But Scannell looked as if he's going to get across into the corner. He backed himself, put the ball in the correct hand. Great work.
Well, Trimble is a player who hunts tackles. He looks for opportunities to try and really bosh people, whether it's in the tackle or as that crossfield cover was just as important on his 200th appearance. But again, lack of precision from Nick Williams in the middle of the pitch, and these little combinations not as slick as they have been in the last couple of weeks.
There's a couple of times Williams has either been out of position, or when he's been in position, it's just not clicked as the link man. There he is. He gets an awful lot right. There's Nick Williams. That's why the Cardiff Blues want him, and they will have him next season. But work to be done here first in Ulster colours.
He's turned the middle.
But we are reaching the halfway point of this first half, and as yet the home side have been going so well in recent games without a point. There's McCall, Carl McCall, 24 years of age today.
Use it!
Pienaar to Rory Best. 89 caps for his country. Here's Jackson, no kicking the ball there. He's looking for McCluskey, who went for the offload. Saili just did enough, but Stevenson cleared him away. And there's Ludik. Pienaar. Dyack. Pienaar again. Jackson. Thought there might be a little bit of a gap. O'Donnell closed it, but Jackson got momentum. And now Williams offloads well. That's what he normally does. And there's Marshall. And there's the Munster line, and they're flying in. Williams part of that. But it's lost by McCall. Well, it was nearly lost. He got it back. Stevenson, it's pinging around now, and Kilcoyne for Munster.
Use it!
Saili. Good experience there, stepped in, looked solid.
Terrific clearance by Keatley under pressure. A couple of errors from Munster close in, but I like the depth they're holding. No one's pressurising the passer. Everyone's holding a depth, picking the right angles. A lovely scissors between Jackson and McCluskey. Nice partnership blooming there. Once again, holding a depth. Again, Jackson this time lifted his head up, he scanned, identified a bit of a dog leg, attacked it. Problem comes when they then try offloading +1 too many times. But I like the depth they're showing.
I need this quicker, White.
It's good composure from Munster. I mean, they're keeping their structure. I thought that break by Jackson might just unlock it out in the wide, but they'd be very pleased to try and frustrate and thwart Ulster's attacks.
I think looking at that again, could well have gone forward, but it doesn't matter. They got it away, Munster. They'll still have to work hard in defence here. It's Rory Scholes. Birthday boy, McCall, stopped in his tracks. There's Jackson. Here comes Marshall. He's put quite a lot into that. Well, it's a pressure line out.
Good option. The aggressive defensive line from Munster, really cutting down the space. They're petrified of allowing the playmakers for Ulster time and space. So they're breathing down the necks of the attackers. A good option taken by Marshall.
That's Lewis Stevenson at the front of the short line out. Munster tried to catch Ulster unawares, didn't work. I'm sure the crowd are thinking at some point Munster have got to crack. Let's see if they do. Awful lot of defensive work now inside their own 22. Jackson still. Good run from the fly half. Pienaar. O'Donnell in with another tackle. Here comes Nick Williams. Well done, Mike Sherry. He's getting in the way. Henry. Came off Pinar's boot.
Definitely came off Pinar's boot and grabbed by an Ulster player who's in front of him.
Might have got away with another here, Ulster. Williams. Rory Best stuck in the heart of things, as always. Pinar again. Here's Jackson. Is there an extra man? McCloskey is trying to make an extra man with his power. There wasn't, because Munster are getting the numbers just right. Really is 100% committed from the Munster men here. It's given their recent run and plight. We sort of knew was coming today. Hands in from Copeland, he got the warning as Williams had really tried to get his side going there. Pinar, Scholes is staying wide and calling on this side. Might be about to come his way. Here's Stevenson. Big Lewis Stevenson, there's Pinar. Oh, that's gone from Looney! Munster broken at last.
A side holding their depth and attack is a side that's full of confidence. Ludic timed his run to perfection. Just wave after wave of attacks, and I thought Munster defended really well. They were identifying when to throw bodies into the breakdown and when not to. O'Donnell were working really hard defending, but there's inevitability about it, because those waves of punishing ball carriers were starting to take its toll. But I thought there was an offside there. I thought the ball came off Pinar's foot and was grabbed by an Ulster player, a Munster player who was ahead of him.
These are just the fine margins that tip points in one team's favour, and Ludic comes from behind the ruck. Munster have done very well to number up. There comes it, and they needed just to push him, but they just simply run out of numbers. They're one short on that side. Worried about the three Ulster shirts out wide, and Ludic takes a lovely hole.
Billy Holland's just come charging out from underneath the post, imploring the referee to have another look. Referee is either happy or feels there were sufficient phases. Here's Jackson's conversion. Couldn't be any better. It's 7-3. Controversial score, though.
Controversial score, but the key mistake was that for the first time Munster was under pressure on their own throw in the line-out, and that line-out went awry right on their own line, and from then Ulster just kept ramping up the pressure with wave after wave of attack. Well, that's certainly
knock-on as well.
That's certainly something that the referee has missed.
Yeah, I think Munster are right to feel aggrieved over that try.
When it's not going for you. I mean, Faye's play had taken it beyond. When the referee could have gone to television match official Alan Rogan, but just sense that sides on a bad run, that's what happens to them. It's almost a law of sport. You could also make a clear case it should have been spotted at the time.
Well, that's what the assistant referees are for as well. If the referee missed it, assistant referees are 25 yards away.
Wasn't exactly hidden away. Anyway, it's also a law of sport that you get on with it. And that's what Munster must do. As Chisholm dispossessed, McCluskey will love this. And so too Trimble in his 200th game. And he can see the funny sign.
Yeah, another error from Munster. Turnover forced. And turn over the ball, attack the blind side. Once again. It'll be time. It's a good decision to put the ball behind. You know, with Trimble, he's a willing chaser, he's a willing workhorse. Will always going to bring a strong work ethic, which is what Joe Smith likes about him as well. And now having that finishing ability is to boot.
I think if the pitch had been about 10 yards longer, he might just have got there.
CJ Stander is back.
I always wanted the pitch to be 10 yards wider rather than longer.
Hold!
Taken by Holland. And there is Stander, who takes the captaincy back on. And Rory Scannell away. Trimble keeping it alive to find Ludick, the try scorer. A man wearing the player mic. I wonder what he said when he went over the line, if anything.
Much better line out from Munster, though. They cut the numbers. I mean, again, good savvy play. They realise that they've lost the line out previously in that position. Cut the numbers, get it. But Jackson's torturing them in that corner, just putting it behind them, turning them, and again, pressure on the throw.
But don't scream at me. Right?
A very canny kicking game is a big part of Ulster's philosophy. Just keep that territory, particularly in conditions like this. Keep forcing, knowing the pressure is going to hurt Munster in the set piece.
Stevenson, he got in last time, and he nearly did it again. It's one heck of a palm as well. A little slap. Can't get out.
Use it!
Of their own 22, Munster. O'Leary tries to relieve the pressure, but it's really not too far, is it?
Momentary respite for Munster. They nearly play the game in Ulster's half. Too much of the game, as far as they're concerned, has been played in their own half.
Two, the line is yours.
And that pressure will tell.
Two, the line. Yeah. I'll step away, all right?
55% being played in their own half.
That's a big building inside the Munster 22.
Tackle!
Talking of big units. McCluskey again.
No.
Williams, well, it's worked out really well. Didn't have the best angle to see if that was deliberate. If it was unbelievable. Henry. O'Donnell on the wrong side. He made his tackle and then...
Seven, move quicker.
Yeah, made an attempt to get away, but you can hear the referee saying to O'Donnell, he's got to be a little bit quicker than that. That was right on the edge.
He's as quick as he needed to be there.
It was perfect, wasn't it, from the open side's point of view?
Ball was out, player.
Although what it is now is in the referee's mind. There's Herbst. And Best. Pienaar looking all around. That man won't let him down, Williams. Pienaar again. Ulster have had to be patient because of Munster's excellent organised defence. We think the only try that they've conceded shouldn't really have been chalked up given what happened in the build-up. Marshall, referee's seen that one.
One of the major pleasing factors, I know they're behind in the scoreboard, but Anthony Foley will be pleased with the defensive resilience and organisation shown by his side. They are throwing themselves manfully to the task.
Can you see Lewis Stevenson just taking in, just coming from behind the ruck, Ludick. But on that occasion, Scholes was free out in the touchline. A little cross-field kick could have released him. That's much more like the fluid movement that we expect from Pienaar at 9 and the players coming onto the ball.
But that fluency depends on the quality of the ball as well. And what Munster are doing are frustrating. Tommy O'Donnell really has impressed me in the game. He's keen to frustrate, and even though you're under pressure, sometimes it's good for an outside flanker to show up positively when under pressure, because you're there really to hound the opposition 9, to create mayhem around the breakdown, which is what he's doing really effectively.
O'Donnell missed out on the World Cup because of that hip dislocation. talking recently about how he feared that his career might have been over.
Far side. Anything there, Brian?
So even though he missed out on a World Cup, he's still young enough for
Over here, Scrum.
plenty to happen
Scrum over here.
in the rest of his career.
Ireland has some quality in their back row available to them, even with the injury to Ian Henderson. So much talent available. You have Chris Henriques O'Donnell here, Sean O'Brien and Leinster. A lot of young flyers, literally a flyer in Van der Fleer at Leinster. So much quality coming through.
Let's stay up and feed forward.
It's just amazing how much is expected of O'Donnell immediately, because after such a long layoff, it takes time to get match fit and it takes time to just get up to speed with the intensity and the physicality of actual match play. But he's having to get there very, very quickly because Munster need him.
Bind.
Against Henry today.
Set.
Tomas O'Leary back with Munster after that spell with London Irish.
Use it, it's turning red. Ball's out, Clay.
He's under pressure here from Pienaar.
Tackle release, lines.
That's not a good place to be.
No hands, wise, Rook. No hands, Rook. Use it.
But there is a determination about Munster today you've got to admire. They are sticking in this.
No hands, off your feet, no hands.
And if they can get to half-time, despite their lack of territory, there are some positive conversations they can have in view of the manner of the try as well, as Keatley gets to touch again.
I need more from you there. All right, I need more from you.
If you can resist, this is a challenge being thrown down by Ulster. It does have an effect of galvanising the team as well, because there is a hint of desperation about the necessary in today's performance from Munster. They have to talk to me about circling the wagons all week and what it means, and they are showing some strength of character out there. Defensively, they're up so far, other than the one instance for Ludic try, up to the task.
In, please, White.
Sold out here, of course. Best to the tail, and right on the money. McCluskey again. Scannell with a tackle. McDonald was on hand, but McCluskey makes big meters. Time and time again. There's Ludic and Pienaar, the two South Africans.
Advantage.
Not for the first time. Ulster cough it up.
Advantage over.
And it was Herbst on that occasion.
Back inside.
This workhorse Dayak who goes back. And Pienaar. See what Keatley's got.
6 red, stop. Thanks, Scott.
Ludic underneath the high ball.
Number 11, side entry.
Not a bad exchange then for
11
Munster.
white, side entry.
As Rory Scholes is penalised for going in at the side.
Well, when you consider that stat a couple of minutes ago, 42%, not just in your own half, but in your own 22,
here, please,
that's a huge amount of pressure that Munster have actually had to soak up. 7-3 is actually not a bad situation for them to be in, given the level of pressure they've been under. And if they can finish this half in the middle of the pitch, or even better down in Ulster's half, I think at half-time they'll take it, given that they've been under the cost, certainly for 20-25 minutes in this first half.
Lord Munster's resilience in defence, but it's also helped his Ulster's errors when carrying the ball, and that'll be a big blow.
Right.
Loss of Liam Herbst.
Side entry, 11 white.
As Herbst
Water
goes,
off,
maybe
sorry,
that
coach. Water off,
knock
please.
on
Water off.
not so long ago was in part down to the injury. So it's Ricky Lutton who comes on. Tommy Bowe, of course, there looking on. One of the many injured at the moment. It shows how good the squads are for both of these sides when you think of the players who are missing. And don't forget, more for the Guinness Pro 12 later on today. Sky Sports 2, 5 o'clock for Glasgow at home to Edinburgh at Murrayfield. That, of course, because the game has been moved from Scotstoun, which is resembling a swimming pool these days.
That was a terrific kick by Keatley, into bang on the 5-metre line. Exactly where you want that kick to be.
Under that, yeah, 9. Hold!
Nice from Sherry again. Munster could nick the lead
Use
here.
it!
Kilcoyne.
Roll, White!
It's Van der Merwe told to roll away. O'Donnell, he's not thinking about that, he's thinking about ball carrying now. Held up, but still trying to work to that line stander and his team, and they couldn't quite make it. And it's the turn of the Ulster defence to get it right.
Yeah, good defence by Ulster. We're aware of the threat Stando is going to pose 3-4 metres away from the try line, right on the ball. Enough defenders there to withstand. As soon as you hear Harrison Moore, everyone dives in on top to prevent that ball coming out.
And McCluskey again, there he is, number 12.
Right, yeah?
He is like an extra forward.
Well, when you got a number 8 up against an inside centre, and this centre is bigger and taller than him.
You're on this side. You're on this side of the scrum. That side? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's got to be with a shout of start in the Six Nations. Really has created such an impact both in Europe and domestically in the Pro 12.
But then we're at the post.
And possibly allowing the opportunity to move Henshaw one out to, I think, his more natural position at outside centre.
You all right? Finally, we got you.
Jarrod Payne still out injured, as Ulster knows so well.
Yeah, yeah. Same discipline as on your scrums, all right? Thank you. Keep this space, all right?
There's plenty of tries in the meeting at the end of October. World Cup final weekend.
Coach!
Ulster scored 4 tries in defeat
Bind!
at Turman Park. Munster getting 5. Not going to be quite that today, given the conditions and time of year now.
9. Come here.
Look at the nature of the game.
Like that and you go to the bit.
40
no,
minutes,
look at me.
38 minutes played in the first half. A lot of opportunity out there. So they've been able quite to take advantage of those opportunities. That in essence has been Munster's Achilles heel over the past month to 6 weeks or so. It hasn't been Ulster's problem up until today.
Coach!
What a very important scrum this is.
Set!
Ulster get it right. They're all set to go in front at the interval. Williams needed 2 grabs at that. It's a slippy ball today.
Use it!
We've seen some handling errors inevitable. But we are moving into the heart of the season, that almost test match mode now for these teams as we approach the Six Nations, yes. But vital points domestically, vital European games.
In the end, this is a good exit by Ulster. You know, bobble there from Nick Williams, might have lost it but held on to it. And those extra 2 or 3 yards, so important in 9 and 10, gives it a little bit of time, a bit more space to put the clearance in.
Sherry tries the tail, but he's not as straight as Best was.
That's straight. Scrum or line out, white. White, scrum, not straight.
Yeah. Not even close to being straight, bit of a wobble in there as well.
Yeah. Yes, right, yes, please. No, not yet.
4 points the gap in October. Munster winning 32-28. Boot on the other foot today, thus far.
Munster, all in all, will be pleased with the scoreline. There are elements of the game that they won't be happy with, but pleased with the scoreline. Ulster will be a tad frustrated, I think, considering where they spent a lot of the game. They haven't quite making the most of it.
Pienaar just wondered there if he was about to get the ball off the field. No, he went for Trimble to try and utilise the blind side, and it very nearly worked. But Ulster will have to settle with just the 1 try in the first half, and quite a fortuitous one as well, because earlier in the move there was an offside, there was a knock-on, and it really shouldn't have been chalked up, but it was. And Munster's defence was broken down on that one occasion, scored by that man wearing 15, Louis Ludik. 7-3, the half-time score. And of course Ludik has been offering his thoughts in this first half, as Alan Quinlan and Tyrone Howe will do after the break.
Get off the line! Watch, watch, watch! Get off the line! Nice, stay left! Holding! Nice! Oh, that's easy.
Well, desperate Munster have made the trip to on-form Ulster to start the new year, and whatever recent weeks have told us about the two, today they are very evenly matched, 7-3 at the half-time break. Ulster have enjoyed the lion's share of ball and real estate, and as such, Munster have had to make nearly double the number of tackles, 74 there to 41. Carries very much in favour of Ulster. Gain line success is a little more even. Munster have had the odd opportunity, which will give them hope. Handling errors, we see Les Kiss here issuing his instructions for the second half. Fairly relaxed and calm changing room there under the stands here at the Kingspan Stadium. Also looking fairly heavy, but 7 handling errors to 1. It is sort of a day for tucking the ball up the jumper a little bit. Breezy, cool and wet, but they have been ambitious, which is good for us all here to start the new year. Alan Quinlan, Tyrone Howe alongside. I mean, it's from a Munsterman's perspective frustrating to be trailing once again, but they're very much in this.
Yeah, and I think looking at the first half, I think Ulster are kind of there for the take, and it seems like that from the first half, because Munster are defending really well, and they're going to be soaking up a lot of pressure there, the slight breeze against them, but they actually defended quite well, bar the try. We'll look at that in a few minutes. But again, the couple of forays they've had in the 22, they've got turned over, a couple of little mistakes. But at 7-3, I think Anthony Foley will be pleased enough if they can build some momentum and some pressure in the second half and hold on to possession. There's obviously mistakes and errors there. Ulster with more handling errors, as you said. But I think he'll be relatively pleased to be still, they're in the hunt.
By all means. Have you been curious as to the amount of ambition with ball, or perhaps maybe to put that slightly better, the lack of accuracy from Ulster? Because this is something they've made their name on, and that they've been a little bit off colour.
I think we've got the game that we thought we might, given the conditions, which tests your skills, which tests the fluidity of your play far more than in dry conditions. They're winning the collisions, they're getting across the gain line, and they're putting the Munster defence under all sorts of pressure. 7-3, it's not really maybe quite the return that they would have wanted so far, but I think Les Kiss will be saying, look, this is an 80-minute game. We're doing all the right things, we're playing our rugby in the right parts of the pitch. Stick with it, be patient, look after the ball, and it will come.
Yeah, patience perhaps is the key word. The try will be chalked down to Louis Ludik. I think we should give it to Lady Luck, and we're going to play and show you why, because this one, first and foremost, we should say this was out of the TMO's remit. The TMO could not be involved in this because it happened too many phases before the try was scored, but still nonetheless difficult.
The TMO and Munster will be a bit frustrated with it, but it's coming from a lot of pressure from Ulster. We're just going to play it here. Chris Henry goes in to the tackle, and you can see Pienaar, he just taps it forward there, Tyrone. You know, it's a knock-on, potential offside, you said.
Yeah, it's definitely a knock-on, but you know they've ridden their luck, and they go through several phases. They're breaking the gain line, and Quinny, this is good from Stevenson.
Yeah, this is Stevenson making a good carry here, and I just want to highlight something here. Tyrone is saying it's something I would do, but you can see Van den Heever has been held on by Chris Henry and Rory Best, and it forces Saili just to step in there on Ruan Pienaar. Ludik runs a great line around here through the space, and Tomás O'Leary just isolated. So it's a brilliant line. We can see Saili just getting caught there by Van den Heever being held on.
It's classic Quinny noticing that. Yeah. I mean, this is total poacher turned gamekeeper.
I didn't see that at all.
Quinny based his career on taking people out around the ruck. That's from Ulster. That's old school Munster. Yeah. That's the Munster of old, and it's a wee bit of nous. It's professionalism, it's gamesmanship, but at this level, you do it, you get away with it.
Sure.
And you know,
it's come from pressure
Munster
as well. You know, Ulster got all this possession. They're playing down in Munster's half. They're getting over the gain line. Nick Williams, very, very prominent, making those big carries. But for Munster, Tommy O'Donnell, I think he's been outstanding. some brilliant tackles, and their effort levels have been good. So they look back on that, and just one little mistake in defence. You know, Ulster deserved it, but one little mistake. But they frustrated Ulster a lot, Munster. And, you know, as I said, they're still in the game. What will they be saying at half-time? Get hold of possession and try and get up there and get a score. Get on the scoreboard, get a penalty after half-time, close that gap a little.
I mean, there's only four points in this game. They started the match very strongly. They finished the match in Ulster's 22. So, I mean, these are real consolation and optimism for Munster. They've had to weather the storm. They will have their time in this game, but it's also up to Ulster to reproduce that sort of a first half performance, but just be a little bit more clinical in their execution.
By all means. And this one is still very much open as a contest. 7 points to 3 at the halftime break here at Kingspan Stadium as we get 2016 underway in the Guinness Pro 12. Round 11 action. Both of these sides with a 6 from 10 return from their season so far. Munster, how they would love to get themselves back into this one, whichever or however they can. It's been a quite aggressive sort of a first half as both of these sides try to find their best.
Did you see that? Get
As the crowd get into full voice here at Kingspan. 7-3, the home side lead Ulster over Munster. As we hand you back to Ian and Miles.
Thanks, James, and Tyrone on his way as well. In fact, he's just arriving. Perfect timing all round. Last time Munster won in Belfast, the 2010-2011 season. It's the last time Ulster suffered the double at the hands of Munster. So, you know, Munster know, like all sides, how difficult it is to win here. Ulster unbeaten here since Leinster won in May 2014, in the Pro 12, that is. So Ulster holding the ace cards, yes, but Munster still far from out of this. Started the game strongly. Can they start the second half? Well, the men in red. Here's Saili. 2 caps for New Zealand in his debut in 2013. O'Donnell had an excellent first half. CJ Stander, who was hurt, but you always felt he'd come back. Kilcoyne.
That was a good dynamic carry by Kilcoyne, really important.
He came on for Cronin last week and showed a couple of those. Started the final last season. Munster runners-up. This ground, of course, where Ulster didn't get to play in the final. There's Rory Scholes. Oh, it's a good start from him to the second half. Look at the ground he's made there, and nice link work from Chris Henry. Romani found his bearings. And Keatley's kick to Pienaar. Tells Ludic this is going high. And he certainly has. It came off Ludic, and Billy Holland was just wondering whether he was offside there. It came off his own man, but the referee made the point. But it was a little bit of a delay from Holland because of his hesitation.
Talking going into the game, but the clarity, there's a lot of clarity about Ulster's kicking game. Really understand what their roles are. That creates opportunities then when they get the ball. That's far too easy for Scholes to beat the first man, and then he gets into the backfield, and life's a lot easier then. But goes past defenders, Saili eventually got him. But there's a purpose to what Ulster are doing in their kicking game. It creates opportunities for them.
O'Donoghue with the feed, but nobody there. O'Leary steps up calmly, though.
No hands, Brooke! Use it!
Keatley. Well, it gets to touch, but it needed to get a little bit further towards the halfway line.
Well, you look at the impact that passage of play from Ulster's actually had in the game. Munster back in their 22 rather than maybe having a line out on Ulster's 10-metre line. And ambition from Ulster, but also far greater accuracy. The ball handling very, very good there.
2 open, 2 red, open.
Carl McCaw just keeping his captain in touch. It's Lewis Stevenson. He's been a good spoiler at the line out today.
Use
Having to
it!
step in with injuries to Ian Henderson, of course, Dan Tui.
That's fine.
Well, it has been given as a knock-on. I don't think Ulster could really complain with what happened earlier.
Yeah, they're still in the plus column. Yeah.
Here's the mark.
Well, he was just picking the ball back, rolling the ball back to himself as he was looking outside, not actually eyes on the ball, but I don't think he can have any grounds to complain there.
He still looks around as if, no, surely not, referee.
He's just so good, he can't believe he did it. Might be something in that. Not that he's a remotely arrogant man, he's the most humble man you ever meet, really, Ruan Pienaar, but the so good bit, that stacks up.
When you're that self-assured, you don't make errors.
No, 7.
Saili.
No, fine. Thank you. Stop cheating.
And Ludic.
Be interesting in the second half just to see how Munster approach their game plan in their own half, how much they actually go through the hands and how much they put boot to ball and try and play their rugby down in Ulster's half.
Then we have the gap. They're respecting your gaps, you respect ours.
I think that would be the plan, to try and play more of a territorial game.
6 wide.
Not quite happened like that. I need a bit more accuracy in their kicking game.
Another stolen line out.
Use it!
Jackson was sort of looking crossfield anyway, but
Advantage.
that's lost by Van den Heever.
What?
Messy passage of play.
It does seem as though Munster have the elements at their back, they're a bit of a win at their back. But again, if the line-out's not functioning properly, it sort of hampers your ability to play an effective kicking game, because you loathe to kick to touch, you're always trying to kick downfield, but then you've got to be really sure that you find grasp, because Ulster will bring that ball back.
Dyack with that steal.
Coach! Bind! Set! Ball is out.
There goes Pienaar. Scholes. Ooh, there's a hole there for Marshall. Clear gap.
That was a beautifully timed run.
There's Holland. O'Donnell.
Advantage over.
O'Leary. Keatley. Thought there was something in behind Trimble. He gets the bounce as well.
Good kick. Excellent kick. That's what you want from an outside half.
Well, what, and they punished Ulster for this turnover, but beautiful, really intelligent attacking move, bringing the blindside winger into the ball carrying position.
That's you want movement with options. It just puts doubt in defenders' minds, and that the arc there was sublime to watch. The pass was just slightly behind, but that arc really is very, as a defender, because your eyes are elsewhere, you don't quite see him.
This was something artistic about the tracking line, wasn't there?
Brush strokes.
Trimble keeping his eyes on the ball, and that's why. Now he seems to have got the whole of Munster to take on, but he won't mind that, Andrew Trimble. But the ball was out, and Mike Sherry reacted really well. Another lovely Trimble take, seen so many over the years. Keatley. He's got in behind the Ulster winger though again, and that to better effect.
Two bits of excellent play. First by Trimble claiming it, then by Keatley for identifying that Trimble was involved in play. There was space where Trimble should have been standing. But great chase. Big part of Trimble's game. His work ethic, his chase. He's prepared to be committed to the ball.
Red, respect there,
really well claimed by him. But how good then was Keatley to identify that Trimble can't be in two places at one time and there was space behind.
Ulster just lost their connectivity to the ruck there. Trimble just, unfortunately, that ball coming out, not enough players there just to protect the ball.
You'd have admired the way he just kept his eyes on the ball. No way he was going to be penalised.
No, ball there.
He's not going to get to this one though. Omani. Ambrosino, I haven't really seen him yet as an attacking player. That might be about to change. Lovely footwork. Van den Heever, that's good too. So two members of the Munster back three showing what they can do. Here's Scannell, had that half chance in the first half when he couldn't get away from Trimble's tackle. It's quite heavy ground, and it looked like that Scannell was just struggling to get through it. Ambrosino, that's a good pass, but it's lost by Omani.
Oh, unfortunate there for Munster. They really well. Ambrosino, outstanding. We talked about Rory Scholes earlier on in the game. Counter-attack that time. Ambrosino beats the first man. He gets an wonderfully timed pass then to Heaver. Pulled that ball back nicely for Heaver. But beating the first man, you beat the first man and then you're away. Then you're waiting for support runners to get you. Heaver picked a lovely angle off him, and ball was dropped in the next phase of play. But really intelligent play by Ambrosino.
It's the first time we've really spotted a big overlap for Munster in terms of numbers. They had about 5 red shirts, and that ball being spilled is great attacking place for them on the pitch just outside the 22.
So there was 2 box kicks there from Ruan Pienaar. The first one was pinpoint. High hang time, 4.5 seconds, so allows Trimble to get there. That last one was just about 10 yards too far. Then around Ambrosino bring the ball back. Different those tiny little margins between being a very effective kick and a kick that puts you back under pressure.
Was the perfect example, wasn't it, of when coaches say we have to get our kicking game right. That's exactly what they mean, because it can create such swings. That's a strong Munster scrum. McCluskey to Jackson, might have fired Ulster into action though. Here's Trimble, onto Luding, he's got Scholes outside. Rory Scholes, a little bit high from Ambrosino, but he came through it. And not dangerously high. Kluski again. Munster pack will be wondering why they're in this position after that scrum, and they could be out of this position very quickly.
How threatening with Ulster looking there. That's beautiful play, really fluid attack, good passing, just allowed Scholes an opportunity out wide. Really good timing of runs, terrific execution of pass.
It's also just seeing McCluskey being used in a very intelligent way, because you expect he's just going to smash it up. And it was also good control off the back of a retreating scrum. But McCluskey, instead of taking it up, actually operates as a pivot and just sucks in defenders. Look at the 3 guys just going around him, allows space on the outside, and this is just good take and give, take and give. And Scholes, he's a lively, good footwork, Gilroy-esque pirouette there, but terrific attacking intent from Ulster.
And at the scrum, Ulster lost their grip. Not a day to lose that, because if a side gets the momentum, as Munster did, go back at a rate of knots. Ambrosino's going to let this bounce. Here comes McCluskey. Stayed calm, the fullback, in the end.
Put himself under pressure by not claiming that ball before it bounced, though.
Did a risk assessment. Down goes Sherry again. He's done that a few times today, the hooker. Stander couldn't take it cleanly. There's Ambrosino acting as half-back. Kilcoyne. Referee wants to check the tackle.
Use it! Time off. Just going to check that tackle.
Nick Williams looked a little bit worried. He was trying to make out there was a knock-on.
Can't make a change.
It looked like Lutton as well, the reserve tight head, was in on that tackle as well, maybe.
Just looking at that tackle, Al, number 8, boy.
Yeah, it's coming up on the screen, just having a look at different angles for you, okay?
Will you wait? Yeah, that angle's no good, Al. I need one from behind, please.
Yeah, if you have one.
There's a corner camera here if you have one.
Certainly doesn't look as if there's anything in that either.
He doesn't use his arms, but again, is he in any position to use his arms because he got player
leading with his shoulder?
He could never get. He wasn't in a position to be able to get his arms around because players either side of him.
4 and 6.
I actually say it was a very good double hit there. But that's the way Williams plays. I mean, it's the, you know, and the referees, I think, also look for it slightly when they see him in contact. But he plays right on the legal side of the law, and every now and again gets it wrong. But my goodness, when he gets it right, he is mightily effective.
10 metres.
Don't want to be in the receiving end when he does get it wrong, Mike.
Double change by Ulster in the forwards. Alan O'Connor's on. Roger Wilson as well. Stevenson and Dyack off. Oh, charge down from McCluskey. Might still work for Munster. Omani inside to Saili, who's going with him. The tackle's good from Ludig. Is he still being held? Ulster fans thought he was. The referee didn't agree, nor the assistant on this near side. They saw it as close as anybody, really. Keatley. Ambrosino. Here's Sherry. Keatley again. Deadlock at the moment. Saili. And there's Scannell. Again, the tackle verging on the high, but the referee waves it on. Keatley, he likes that area.
Yeah, he likes the kick back against the grain. It's been very effective for him. See a lot of pull-back passes from Munster. You see the exit here, trying to be from using the left foot of Scannell, but the pressure was there. Sometimes that ball bounces in your favour. Could have been a pass on the inside there from Saili.
Well, Munster are due a little bit of luck in the game, and it certainly came their way there. And I agree, and maybe that, you know, getting that ball, keep it alive, inside pass, and then you're there in support again.
Ulster going for their bench, not just the forwards, but the backs as well now. And there's a young man, 19 years of age, with a heck of a lot of promise, Sammy Arnold. Into a derby game, and one that is far from sorted. Lost by Roger Wilson. In pounces O'Leary to Keatley. Scannell. Just signed a 2-year senior contract.
There's a general point about Munster's attacking game. They're using the pull-back passes quite a lot, but the players bypassed still needs to be an option. He needs to look as if he's getting the ball, or be an option to receive the ball. Otherwise, defenders just ignore you and move out, and that generally is what Ulster are doing in defence. They're ignoring the bypass player.
And you're tired, right, Jay? Nothing.
Davey Irwin saying there's nothing wrong with you.
Thank you. Scrum.
Pound for pound, probably the toughest doctor in the world.
And the most unsympathetic.
Red scrum.
Felt like a bit of a timeout, that, didn't it?
Can you see that the stats there in terms of where Ulster spending most of the possession of this game? In the first half, mind you, it was in the 22 of the opposition. So Munster just combating the Ulster attack, but they need to spend more time in the Ulster half.
The kicking game has improved in the second half. A lot more accurate, there's a lot more purpose and design behind their kicking game now. They're finding spaces they weren't able to do in the first half. A bit of compliment Ian Keatley, and there's so much pressure. They're a tortuous few weeks.
And there goes CJ Stander. O'Leary, little stumble, but he still gets the pass into Jack O'Donoghue. O'Leary again. Sherry bouncing off McCluskey, gets back. And Alan O'Connor's there as well. Munster need this back quickly.
Too upright from Kerry, miles too upright. You're running into a second row. There's only one winner there. Get upright.
Stander did so well off that scrum, and Chris Henry quite slow to break off, and Stander, you look at this arc that he breaks, Henry's caught in. Number 8 running straight at 10, that's exactly what you want off that scrum.
Yeah, he's able to get a long way infield. That's the target he wanted. He wanted the outside half. And he's able to get Paddy Jackson and get beyond Paddy Jackson. But again, the second wave, far too upright. That's meat and drink for any solid defender.
That kind of ball-carrying ability is bound to catch the eye. Well, it is catching the eye, surely, of the Ireland management team.
Yeah, and particularly the type of ball carry is. I don't know, Joe Schmidt doesn't like people offloading that. It's not part of his low-risk strategy. Stander doesn't offload an awful lot, but he makes significant yards, hard yards.
And it's interesting that the two individuals were highlighted right at the start in terms of their ball carrying. Stander, McCluskey once again coming to the fore, and probably will even more so in this sort of a game where it's tight and the conditions are not great. You've got your go-to people, and the two players again so core for the game plan of each side.
I think both have bright international futures ahead of them. McCluskey in particular has to be involved.
Munster making 2 changes of their own now. Robin Copeland's back on. We saw him earlier when Stander was in the blood bin. And he's replaced Tommy O'Donnell. Of course, his first start since his return from injury today, O'Donnell. And Niall Scannell has come on and done that. And his brother Rory, younger brother, has the ball in midfield.
Great tackle by Ludick.
Billy Holland. It's Munster's turn to spend plenty of time now inside the opposition 22. This is where they've struggled. Conversion of territory into points. And today, just that early 3-pointer from Ian Keatley. And they're going for the drop goal here, realising the attack was not progressing as they wanted. They do leave with something, and they cut the gap to 1 point. This is getting very interesting now.
An excellent 10 minutes or so for Munster. They've played in the right areas, they're creating pressure. Scrum has gone well, and they're taking the points when they're on offer. So something being criticised for not doing as of late. At time, decision by Keatley, firm decision, authoritative decision to go for the 3 points.
I think everybody expected Ulster to come out and dominate this third quarter and actually keep pushing ahead and making sure that that gap just increased between them and Ulster. And in fact, Munster playing smart rugby. You mentioned a couple of times that kick, pushing and turning the Ulster defensive line, and actually they're getting themselves into areas of attack, and there have been uncharacteristic mistakes by Ulster and Munster. You know, it may only be 3 points, but in the wider landscape of the game, this is a nervy, squeaky time now for Ulster, and they've got to produce something of a bit of quality and get themselves across the gain line and get a couple of really good phases together.
You can see Rory Scannell feeling that tackle from Ludick. He read it well.
He did so well because momentum was really with it. It would have been very easy just to have tipped him, but just halfway through the movement kept him parallel to the ground.
And because of the territory they've been joined, it brings Standers' yardage into Ulster territory. So far more significant yards in good areas of the field.
Dennis Hurley is on for the injured Rory Scannell. And Tomas O'Leary is jogging over to the far side. And that means Duncan Williams will come on, and this will be his 100th appearance for Munster.
As I said, Hurley slightly different inside centre to Rory Scannell.
Stander. Williams gets his first touch. It's quite high for Keatley. It's not the tallest. Ludick. Tackle from Copeland. And Munster have won a few of those. Breakdown penalties. Keatley will put this into touch. And we can bring in member of the Ulster management team, Alan Clark. Hi, Alan. Always close between you two, and it's not disappointing on that front again.
Yeah, it's a cagey affair. Conditions on the field are quite tough. We had some good field position at the end of the first half and probably didn't convert. And obviously Munster have come back in this half. So like the set piece is everything, trying to get position on the field and dominate and play in the right areas of the field.
Essentially, Alan, is that what needs to change now? That is the area that you'll be targeting?
Yeah, we brought a lot of pressure on ourselves in terms of mistakes. Like I said, we're just giving another one away there now. And it's a tight game, and those small margins are what's hurting us at the moment.
Thanks, Alan. Let you get back to directing operations.
Yeah, good option by Munster, that line. Throw to the front, secure that ball, force errors from Ulster, so they stay towards Ulster's territory, and then penalise them coming in for the side and forcing errors. They're playing a very intelligent game, Munster, at the moment. They're using the elements in their favour, playing in the right areas.
And these sort of elements, it's unlikely it's going to be a moment of genius is going to turn this game, but it may well be a basic mistake, so you've got to get the fundamentals right.
Keatley for the lead. Leading point scorer in the league last season. What an important kick, and because of that, what a very fine kick from Ian Keatley, and Munster, with a quarter of the match to go, are back in front.
Yeah, Ian Keatley be thrilled at that. There's a bit of pressure coming into this game, and he's showing a lot of composure at outside half, which is what Munster required here at Kingspan.
Ulster have faced a couple of massive tests over the last few weeks. Character has been at the centre of everything that's been good in December, but into the final quarter, 2 points down, and they've got to front up again.
He's through the middle.
All that defence from Munster in the first half starting to pay some dividends, but the job far from done. Again, Keatley has to stretch for that, but he's calm enough and finds his man out wide. And Dennis Hurley on the inside from Van den Heever can't take it, but Ulster can. Sammy Arnold. Jackson, where's this one going to break? Amorosino has touched it. It's gone forward, and Jackson got a little bit of luck there on the bounce, yes, but Amorosino compounded the problem.
Well, you say a bit of luck. You look at Jackson kicking this ball, he actually kicked it on the side. I'm sure that he meant that ball to actually spin up to the left-hand side, and a little we talk about little mistakes.
I think he was helped somewhat by Amorosino. I have no idea what he was trying to do.
Inadvertent helping hand from Amorosino.
Well, we've seen a hand of God from an Argentinian before, haven't we?
Quite a few of the players out there, Jan, probably wouldn't either have been born when that happened or remember it, but I certainly do as well.
Yeah, we are of a certain vintage as well.
Next time there's a break, will you get me some isotonic, please?
Why Peter Reid didn't trip him, I'll never know. He tripped everybody else throughout his career.
Left. Straight away once I give you the nod, all right?
But back in 2016, not 1986.
Seconds.
This is what matters.
Coach!
And what the Jackson kick and the Amorosino knock-on has done here has given all the momentum back to the home side.
Red, red, red.
Williams is caught.
Red. Cross. Red collapsing. Number
So are the Munster pack.
Go, go, go. 8, relax. Collapsing here, number 3.
Turning against
Shot it go.
DJ both out.
Thanks, Sean.
Who's looked so solid
Just
all
alignment
afternoon,
there.
but there, the former Ulster player, now Munster tight head. We can see him there bending in on the floor.
Well, it's an interesting decision as well, because this is, given the conditions, this is not an easy kick at all for
Right,
Jackson.
discipline on the chase, all right? Onside on the chase.
Sort of shows where the game is at now and what Ulster fear. Just short, Saili, the calmest man in the Kingspan Stadium, underneath those posts. When it left the tee, it looked, for all the world it was going over. Didn't have the legs, and Keatley, well, that certainly has got plenty of legs, that clearance.
I think both those kicking indicate how strong the breeze is behind Munster.
One white.
Some terrific
One
kick
white
by
sub.
Keatley to gain that touch line.
Well, when
But
you
have a
saw
look.
the strike, you thought that is the strike of a confident
step right.
kicker, because it looked as if it was splitting the posts. And he's lucky that ball's going backwards as well.
For all the world, when that left the boot, you thought that was over. It was beautifully struck.
Red.
But just
step.
died off.
No, look. Step. Perfect.
Terrific recovery
step,
from
please.
Saili, because dropping the ball in that position is not where you want to be. McCall off, Callum Black on.
Tackle release.
McCall's last act was to put BJ Boter on the floor and win a penalty. There's Boter on the floor again, this time to make a tackle on Scholes. Pienaar. Here's Henry. Pienaar again. A very clean shirt and shorts of Callum Black. Jackson. Nice ball to Trimble. Trimble. Here goes Scholes. Oh, he did until Gerhard van den Heever came flying in.
Well, plenty of time left on the clock, and Ulster just cranking up the attack. And playing, we heard Alan Clark speaking, playing the game in the right part of the pitch, but they've somehow got to try and unlock what actually has been a very, very well organised and structured Munster defence. They've defended intelligently, and also with a fair amount of hunger as well.
The Scannell now on the pitch is Hook and Nile.
Use it.
Duncan Williams. Conor Murray still has a hip problem, that's why he's not in the 23.
Red ball, White kicked it out.
Red ball. Thanks. No, listen, Captain, you listen to me now. Your lifter at the back left and going, that's why you fell. You need to take true care of him, okay?
This guy doesn't look good here.
Time off. Time off. Yeah. He's injured. We have an injury. Time off.
Mark Chisholm.
Yeah. Look. I've explained to you now to lift and let him go.
He needs to be looked after far more by his lifters. He's been allowed to actually, arguably you could say there's a little bit of interference in the air, but he needs to be brought down to ground by the guys that put him up.
Yeah, you got to think of the lifters there as well. He's allowed to compete. He did compete. He didn't take his arms. And there's always going to be some sort of collision up in the air if two sides compete for the ball. You've got to rely on your lifters also to hold you up there. I think his lifters lost him there.
Well, you look at BJ Butter there, he's got to bring him down and help him.
CJ Stander unhappy. Wilson made contact, but that wasn't, as you say, the key issue.
Hold!
Still not panic time for Munster, partly because of the close of the score, but also the clock. When it has a 7 starting the time, then Ulster will start to think.
Use it!
Williams again, good up and over. Brandon Heaver is not that on, and Copeland will be called back.
I think the improved Munster kicking game is drawing dividends. They're really pushing more and more pressure onto Ulster and turning them time again, and that's getting them, the Munster pack, on the front foot.
Here's the mark.
Coming up live on Sky Sports, Glasgow Warriors home game against Edinburgh, move from Scotstoun to Murrayfield. That's Sky Sports 2, 5 o'clock.
Ulster need to wrest the initiative back in this game. They've been on the back foot in terms of territory, in terms of momentum of the game. They need to wrest the initiative back and be error-free for the next 5 to 10 minutes or so.
Scholes from Peanut. Arnold was trying to get there to the young brigade. Ludic could sense Saili was coming. Roger Wilson. Kluski. There's Arnold.
He's cut it out.
Henry finds Best.
Tackle!
It's Callum Black. Pienaar. Tackle by Williams. Cries of not 10 metres from the Ulster fans, but they like the tempo. The referee doesn't mind that either. Penalised Munster at the last breakdown, but not that one. There's Chisholm to O'Donoghue.
And Munster harrying Ruan Pienaar, not allowing him a platform.
Trimble got deflected by Munster. Amorosino and Ludic. Jackson. Ooh, he's going to run into trouble here. Well played his colleagues. Good support. Roger Wilson. Pienaar. There's Alan O'Connor. Pienaar again. There's Jackson from Arnold onto Ludic. Ludic goes against Stander. Two men brought up in South Africa. Jackson. Trimble wants the long pass. In the end, backed himself. Pienaar to Henry. And we drift into the last 10 minutes. The minute does start with a 7. Pienaar again. Jackson, Saili has got loads of time to tell everyone in the ground that he's called for the mark.
Hold red!
And here's Trimble. Pienaar. Everyone's looking for a bit of space. Amorosino is looking for the ball.
Off white, knock on.
It's a knock-on from Ulster. But now it'll be advantage over.
Advantage over!
Keatley. Another good kick.
Excellent kick by Keatley. Compliments of the defensive display. The back row for Munster have been sensational in terms of their work rate. O'Donnell's off the field, but O'Donoghue, Copeland should come on and stand there, put an immense amount of work in, and that forces turnovers and allows the back row, Duncan Williams and the half-backs, Duncan Williams and Ian Keatley, to put those long raking kicks downfield.
That's a brilliant kick from Keatley. I mean, his forwards have a spring in their step going into this line-out. And Ulster, lots of positive play, but it's all in the middle of the pitch. It's all hovering around this halfway line. They were in 42%, we saw that stat in the first half, in the opposition 22 in the first half. But they're playing their rugby in the wrong part of the pitch now, and they're under massive pressure.
This is fascinating. Nick Williams had to go, and Rob Herring is the only forward left, so he's on not for best, but for Williams. Paul Marshall's on at scrum half.
I mean, the irony is of this game is that Munster, in losing several times, have dominated territory and possession, but haven't been able to score, haven't been able to unlock defences. Here we have Ulster, who are dominating possession and territory, but have been unable to unlock Munster's defence. So it's almost like the virus that has struck down, the lurgy that Munster have had in the last few weeks has actually it's been in Ulster this match so far.
Well, we all remember last season Ulster's dramatic late score, the draw. And to find another dramatic late score here for the win. John Ryan on for Munster. BJ Bota put in a good shift despite that penalty towards the end of his time on the field. Marshall, well, that's not going anywhere.
Talked at the start of the game about how important Ian Keatley will be today, and his performance, considering all the pressure, all the comments, critical comments about him over the last couple of months. He's responded really strongly. He's been assured, authoritative, which you want from a 10. His kicking display in the second half particularly, admittedly with the elements in his favour, really have been accurate and created pressure on Ulster and given Munster the free position they need.
Here's Holland.
Tackles made, release!
Williams.
20.
Stander.
No,
A knock-on that was spotted, the irony for Munster.
Last 4.
They do have the lead. That try from Louis Ludick in the first half that came after a knock-on. CJ Stander, maybe a wry smile about that.
Well, frustration for Munster, but look where they are on the pitch. It's forcing Ulster to come up with something to chase this game and have to actually produce something pretty outstanding to get them down the pitch. See Stander in terms of these ball carries being crucial to Munster today.
And they mean hard yards as well, physical yards, making yards after the initial hit, yards after the carry.
Coach!
And that buys time for the halfbacks. Good yards. He's taking in 2 or 3 defenders over the game line.
Open up, please. Thank you. Let's go. Seconds in now. Seconds in.
Both of these teams have really big European games next week. Ulster off to Oyonnax. They'll fancy that. They're right back in that pool, aren't they, after their wins against Toulouse. Munster go to Paris and start a game they simply have to win. But if they do win, there's certainly a route out of that pool for Munster, but they aren't thinking about that at the moment. It's all on the line in this match for McCluskey.
Use it!
And Ulster are trapped here. Can they break out?
No. Offside.
Well, here's a chance to, and Little Marshall's going. Again, the cry from the crowd that Munster hadn't retreated before they tackled him, but the referee is going to have eyes in the back of his head, but he was happy.
No red! No red! No.
Marshall again, Jackson. Still without a second half point, Ulster. Jackson. McCluskey. Well, that's strong.
Not hand.
And up for a bit more. Marshall. Ooh, had a chance to keep it in hand there. Amorosino. Ludic has got to get Ulster out of there, knows it. Oh, he looks a tired man.
That was a tired attempt at a counter-attack.
It's a draining surface.
Tackle early, now to rock.
That was tired as well from Trimble. Down goes Van der Merwe.
Use it! Run,
5 straight defeats going into this match for Munster, their worst run since 2003-2004. 6 will be their worst ever. Ludic to McCluskey. Scholes. Less than 4 minutes now.
Release it!
Munster will be thinking, just keep this tackle count up and the match is ours. There's every chance they can get a penalty as well, as Ulster get a little bit more desperate to clear these breakdowns. Jackson, well, there's a hint of desperation about that, and it's covered by Duncan Williams.
Ball's available.
The desperation came about because of the defensive display by Munster. Their pack in particular, putting a huge shift to work in.
Use it!
Saili, they've gone for the drop goal before. Successfully, Keatley might be the winning score, but Amorosino's back there if required. Standard takes it forward.
It's a long way back from where Amorosino was standing there.
And there's Niall Scannell. Keatley wandering around. Not ready yet. More time to use up.
Yeah, he's calling. He's calling the forwards there. If he is to go, he needs protection in front of him as well.
Of course, run the risk of it all breaking down without the drop goal attempt, but time just as key as points here, and Munster know that. But here is the potential turnover. There's the penalty. They never had a chance. Well, they did have a chance. They never took the option to go for the drop goal. And Jackson now, with 2 minutes left, says to Ulster, let's get going. Let's show with the home side. But Amorosino tries to keep it in. And I think he's knocked it on.
Can everyone stop talking?
Knocked on by Red.
Offside the call, penalty. And Jackson, who fell short before, is going for it.
Another one of those curious moments from Amorosino, trying to knock that ball back in field and just knocks it forward instead.
It could have been so different for Amorosino. He was wanting the drop goal.
His body position was all wrong.
Van den Heever in an offside position. Jackson for what could be the win. Oh, he's not got the distance. Short again, Keatley. Kept in by Jackson. What a finish we have here. A dramatic minute in store. Jackson again. Marshall. Callum Black. And listen to the crowd. Trimble, the 200 game man. Marshall again. Here's Herring.
Tackle release!
Keatley really needed a fine touch there.
It could be Ulster thinking about a drop goal soon, but Jackson is tackled and needs to get himself free first, and Ulster need to get closer, much closer. Rory Best, Paul Marshall, McCluskey, Arnold. McCluskey still has it, that close to time, slipping away, and it has slipped away. Munster have done this. The losing streak is over. That's the way to start a year. One loss in their first 8 games of the season, then those 5 defeats. But it's over. And they fought so hard. They came into the game under the pump. Anthony Foley breathes a sigh of relief, but he must also be very, very proud of what his men have achieved here today. And that Ulster score, remember, a controversial one. Munster tackled and tackled and tackled.
They defended to a standstill, particularly the hard work they did in the first half, like Stander, O'Donoghue were outstanding for me. There was defensive effort they put in, really resolute defences, always expecting that. I talked about circling the wagons, and sometimes desperation inspires you to great physical feats. But the man of the match for me, considering the pressure he was under, all the talk going into this game, Ian Keatley's inability to run a game, and how he played in Europe, he responded, he took control, authoritative when needed. His kicking display in the second half ensured that Ulster, time and time again, had to work their way out to the 22. Ian Keatley put this out of performance at outside half for me. You've got Guinness and Tyrone's Guinness Pro 12 man of the match in terms of the direction he brought to this Munster team and allowed that defence to take its toll on Ulster.
And one final thought from us, Johan. We saw Munster get off the bus, walk into the ground, and we both looked at each other because in their eyes there was something today. You just knew they were going to dig very, very deep.
Well, you expected a physical response from Munster. They're not used to this sort of period of poor results, 5 defeats on the bounce. It's not something you associate with Munster teams in the past. They were always going to be up for the physical battle, and that it created issues for Ulster. Ulster made errors and were architects of their own downfall as well, particularly in that first half. Too many drop balls, too many blown opportunities in Munster's 22. But Munster showed terrific heart, terrific character, and when needed, made the right decisions, showed composure, which has been their Achilles heel.
And Munster go shooting up the table with that win. They've now got 32 points, so have Ulster. What a season, wide open. Let's join Tyrone, who's with the man of the match.
Well, Ian, looking at the responses and reactions in the touchline there, how important was that victory to Munster Rugby?
Yeah, that was huge. We were in kind of a bad losing streak, and a lot of the things that we talked about over the couple of weeks, we've been talking about them, but we haven't been doing them in the games. And I think we saw the things that we were talking about today, just working hard for each other. Like, we weren't doing that much stuff wrong, but just sloppy, like lads knocking off execution of things, and we've been talking about that for the last couple of weeks, and we executed tonight. And this place is a fortress to come to, and I think we're just delighted just to get the ball rolling again, and we're on to Europe for the next 3 weeks. So.
And half-time, you weathered a lot of pressure from Ulster in the first half. What was the message at half-time? Because there's a lot of more kicking from you and turning the Ulster defence. Yeah,
even though they had the lead at half-time, I think they went through 20-plus phases to score their try. So if you're going to make a team work that hard to score a try, fair play to them for coming out. And we know Ulster are so dangerous, and they're so hard to analyse over the last week. So I think we just stuck together. We worked hard, and credit to the coach and staff. They put in a good game plan, and we executed well tonight.
What difference does that make to your spirits looking ahead, going back into Europe again?
Yeah, as I said, this is a fortress, so I don't think we've won here in a couple of years, so it's great to just come here and get the win. And I think we'll enjoy tonight, and then we've got Staff on Sunday next week, so that's our focus. We need to get back on track in Europe.
Well done this evening, Ian. You're the Guinness man of the match, and Peter McElwain from Guinness to give you your medal.
Thank you. Thank you.
But Rory, after such a superb December, how great's the sense of anticlimax as a result of today's game?
Look, obviously we're bitterly disappointed. You know, I think it just shows that if you go and you go back to expecting to turn up and win these games, you're not going to win the big games. And look, we'll not, like, we didn't get too carried away when we were winning and winning well. we'll not get too carried away now that we've lost. You know, unfortunately in a season you get ups and downs and you're not always going to have the perfect performance. The big thing is when you're not perfect is to win those games, and I think while we weren't good enough probably to win it, we had chances at the end to win it, and look, we'll be disappointed and be very hard on ourselves, because the thing that's got us into a decent position now this season after a rocky start has been our collective. We'll not let that disappear now, but look, we're bitterly disappointed with that result.
Didn't score a point in the second half. Was it down to that, or was it down just to not scoring the first half?
No, look, I think you got Munster a good defence, and they made us work hard, but you know, we just couldn't get the ball in the second half, and when we did, we turned it over too easily. I think ultimately we'll take a look at ourselves, and we know we can be a lot better, and we know we're going to have to be a lot better, but like I say, you know, it's not going to be a knee-jerk panic reaction from that, but we know we're a lot better than that.
Thanks, Rory.
Yeah, well, Rory Best's reaction rather sums up the feeling in here at the Kingspan Stadium, although for those that have travelled, and certainly the Munstermen that have worked so very hard, they have earned that feeling of relief and satisfaction. And look at that. Crisis, what crisis? 32 points all up. They are now up into 4th position and have broken that losing trot. And just very briefly, as we running out of time, reaction to that from Munsterman, Alan Quinlan. Relief, I guess, the natural reaction.
Yeah, a lot of mistakes from Ulster, but what a performance of character from Munster. They needed that to come out with a reaction. Great intensity, energy, and they deserve to stop that rot today, because they were brilliant.
Absolutely. Thanks to Alan. I know it is short and sweet post-match. We are moving straight on now. Somehow...